Hello, students. Previously, we had seen how a poem and a prose composition has the same elements, and the difference between a poem and a prose composition is the difference in the combination of those elements or the difference in ideas which the poet has in mind. Today, we will see poetry as distinguished from a poem. Regarding this, Coleridge points out that poetry may be found at its best and sublimest in works which employ no metrical language. The prose of Plato or of Jeremy Taylor or the prophetic books in the Bible are the illustrations or examples of such poetry which at once comes to the mind. But to define poetry means to consider the nature and functions of the poet, its creator. The poet, at his best, calls forth all the powers of the soul into activity, each in proportion to its worth and dignity. By virtue of his imagination, which is a synthetic and magical power, he harmonizes and blends together various elements and thus diffuses in them a tone and spirit of unity over the whole. This creative power is first put in action by will and understanding and operates under their gentle and unnoticed control like a horse with loose reins. It manifests itself most clearly in the balance or reconciliation of opposite or divergent qualities, such as A. Sameness with difference, B. The general with the concrete, C. The idea with the image, E. The individual with the representative, E. Novelty and freshness with old familiar objects, F. Unusual emotional excitement with strict order and discipline, G. Strong and vehement passion with vigilant judgment and unflagging self possession. So, these are the points that the poet uses to create a balance and to reconcile the different opposing qualities. This emphatic power blends the natural and the unnatural, the manner and matter, and our admiration for the poet with our sympathy for the poem. In short, it has all the attributes of the soul which Sir John Davies has specified in one of his poems. It transforms all gross bodies into its own spiritual essence, abstracts universal substance from individual states which, infested with local habitations and names, win our sympathy as sensible forms. Coleridge concludes rather abruptly by saying that good sense is the body of poetic genius, fancy its eternal dress, motion its living principle, and imagination the soul which is diffused through the whole and which animates each part and forms all into one graceful and intelligent whole. So, here Coleridge has pointed out how poetry is differentiated from a poem. Next, we'll consider chapter 17.